President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have joined forces at a rally in Virginia as they push for abortion rights. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, and this is the Dunkley Report. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have joined forces at a rally in Virginia as they push for abortion rights. First Lady Jill Biden and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff were also there Tuesday at what was the first joint appearance by all four of them since the 2024 campaign began. It's a reflection of the importance that Democrats are placing on abortion as they face a likely rematch against Donald Trump, the former Republican president. Trump helped pave the way for overturning Roe v. Wade by nominating 3 conservative justices to the U.S. Supreme Court, a fact that the Biden campaign plans to remind voters of at every opportunity. Donald Trump has easily won the New Hampshire primary. He has swept the opening contest for the Republican presidential nomination and delivered a fresh setback to his last major rival, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Trump's margin of victory Tuesday is still coming into focus. But it's clear his hold on the Republican Party hasn't wavered despite the multiple criminal cases he is facing. The results are disappointing for Haley, but she vowed to stay in the race, declaring it far from over. Trump bragged about following up his Iowa win with a victory in New Hampshire, but also repeatedly insulated Haley, declaring, "Let's not have someone take a victory when she had a very bad night." Testy. Encounters between lawyers for former President Donald Trump and judges have come to be expected as the attorneys carry into the courtroom the bombastic and often antagonistic style that defines his campaign trail demeanor. In arguments that seem to cater more to the client than to the court, Trump's attorneys have repeatedly invoked his front-runner status in the presidential race despite its questionable relevance, echoed his claims of prosecutorial bias and political persecution, and advanced sweeping theories of legal immunity before skeptical judges. Testy encounters between lawyers for former President Donald Trump and judges have come to be expected as the attorneys carry into the courtroom the bombastic and often antagonistic style that defines his campaign trail demeanor. In arguments that seem to cater more to the client than to the court, Trump's attorneys have, repeatedly, invoked his front-runner status in the presidential race, despite its questionable relevance, echoed his claims of a prosecutorial bias and political persecution, and advanced sweeping theories of legal immunity before skeptical judges. A man suspected of shooting and killing 8 people in suburban Chicago this weekend was related to most of the victims, authorities said Tuesday, a day after the 23-year-old fatally shot himself during a confrontation with law enforcement in Texas. Joliet Police and the Will County Sheriff's Office say investigators believe Romeo Nance shot 7 people, most of whom were relatives, at 2 homes in Joliet on Sunday before randomly shooting 2 men at other nearby locations. One of those men survived. The Illinois authorities said there is no evidence to provide a motive for the killings at this point. A Christian pastor says his small Ohio city would lose a beacon of light downtown if he has to close an around-the-clock ministry for homeless people and others seeking shelter. Pastor Chris Avell's Dad's Place Church in the northwestern Ohio city of Bryan has drawn citations over zoning laws, fire ordinances, and safety. The church filed a federal lawsuit Monday against the city, the mayor, and other officials, and says, its right to religious freedom is at stake. Avell has pleaded not guilty to 18 criminal code violations. A lawyer for the city says officials deny treating any religious institution inappropriately. Accusations that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had an affair with a special prosecutor she hired to seek convictions of Donald Trump and others for interfering in Georgia's 2020 election have led to renewed calls to remove Willis from the case. Willis, an elected Democrat, has shown no signs of stepping down yet. But there are ways she could be removed. The judge in the case could rule that she has a conflict of interest. A revived state-level prosecutor oversight board could take action against Willis. In less likely scenarios, state lawmakers could impeach and remove Willis, or the State Bar of Georgia could take action against her. Almost 80 years after the Holocaust, about 245,000 Jewish survivors are still living across more than 90 countries. A new report reveals that nearly half of them, or 49%, are living in Israel, 18% in Western Europe, 16% in the United States, and 12% in countries of the former Soviet Union. According to the New York-based Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, which issued the study, their median age is 86. 20% are older than 90 years. The vast majority, or 96% of survivors, are child survivors who were born after 1928. The report is based on figures that were collected up to last August. The 2024 Oscar nominations have been announced. The nominees for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. Lily Gladstone, star of Killers of the Flower Moon, became the first Native American nominated for Best Actress. For the 10th time, Scorsese was nominated for Best Director. Leonardo DiCaprio, though, was left out of Best Actor. Among the nominated films is the Ukraine war documentary 20 Days in Mariupol, which is a joint production between the Associated Press and PBS's Frontline, and will compete in the Best Documentary category. Charles Osgood, who anchored CBS Sunday Morning for more than 2 decades, hosted the long-running radio program The Osgood File, and was referred to as CBS News Poet in Residence, has died. He was 91. CBS reported that Osgood died Tuesday at his home in Saddle River, New Jersey, and that the cause was dementia, according to his family. Osgood proved to be a broadcaster who could write essays and light verse as well as report hard news, a man who continued to work in both radio and television with equal facility. He joined the CBS network in 1971. Today's news was reported by the Associated Press. This has been The World News for Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. Thanks again for joining us at The Dunkley Report.